Hello, YouTube. This is Piss and Moan, the film cynics. Movie cynics. Movie cynics.
Sure.
Yeah, we're really good at this.
And to our future viewers watching us from your famous, you must be really stuck up for content if you're going back this far.
That is a really forward-thinking intro. I mean, Jesus.
I'm just saying,
for you,
man,
year out and you.
30 years from now, and they're looking back, you're like, God, I really want to watch more of these guys. Let's go dig through the old stuff. We're sorry you're so short on content. Like, it's not that great. You hear? This is our low-quality stuff.
Yeah, it just gets better from here. So keep watching the stuff we've since produced. God, this is a weird topic.
Generic brand soda?
Definitely
not.
It's not
definitely
a brand name,
not.
of course
Yeah,
not.
Nope.
So literally today, we saw Beauty and the Beast.
This week I saw Beauty and the Beast.
No, I saw Beauty and the Beat, apparently.
You're great at this, by the way. Yeah. The wad very good. Wad amazing.
I was taking notes during the film. I'm
right.
that asshole in the movie with my phone on, and I had it at the lowest setting. I swear I'm not an asshole. I had it underneath
I am an asshole.
my entree table, so I really kept it discreet. And
I'm fat enough.
He's an
away with
asshole, but I keep it low and discreet.
There was no one next to me. I tried to get you to come back and sit next.
Yeah, I got to sit in front of him because I screwed up and ordered seats not at the same time, and then someone didn't sit next to him, and I was too lazy to go to sit in it.
It would have been good. It was actually not bad sitting where we were.
So the movie theater we go to has those like super comfortable recliner chairs, and honestly, I really don't feel that there is a bad seat in the house. The only time that holds up for me is when they start like doing those pan shots. Like it gets like it looks like it's like 240p.
Oh.
It's so blurry up close during
imagine.
movement. It's not even discernible. Like they're doing this beautiful panning shot as the castle upgrades, and it's like, God, this just looks like shit.
I mean,
and I know it's because of my seating, not because of the movie.
Well, yeah, and and then when you're in the generic name for very large screen section of the theater, if you get put off really far to the side there, it can be a bad.
Yeah, but yeah, I was literally in the first row, and minus some of the pixelation during movement, I really didn't have a complaint. And on that note, God, the castle was beautiful in this movie. I really liked the artistic of the castle. It was maybe a little too flowing.
That's
on
one
the ground
thing I
floor.
liked better in the cartoon. Is I like the art of the castle better in the cartoon.
So up high, I liked it better in the film, or I liked the new one better than the old one. But on the ground level, the weird flowing architecture by the entrance just looked a little odd to me.
To me, the castle wasn't colorful enough. I felt it was much more vibrant and colorful in the cartoon than in the. It's very gray and very muted colors in the live action, as opposed to its deep blues, bright oranges, greens, and more.
Sorry, I just want to make sure we're recording.
Probably a good idea.
It's really embarrassing if you're not.
It's a solid opening we went with, so we gotta make sure we're getting.
Yeah, I mean, God forbid we're like 3 minutes in and haven't been recording that amazing intro.
Yeah, it's just it's quality. I've been planning that intro for at least 10 minutes.
So I took a ton of notes. I've never taken so many notes on.
I've never taken notes, and I took notes.
Like, I go to school right now, and this is nothing. I mean, school notes are nothing compared to this.
Almost a page on my phone. Generic brand phone.
Yeah, and smashing cats and animals outside the door. I apologize if you can hear them.
Probably not. They can barely hear us.
Yeah. I needed a new mic. Using this blue snowball, I've grown more and more disappointed with it. Did I just drink your soda? No, I just used the mouse.
No.
It was in the same area. I got confused. So, I thought that the intro with this, like, he was so focused on beauty, and it was just this weird dancing intro, and the puffing the makeup on, and doing his lipstick was just so... I just was so out of place. It was not at all what I was expecting.
I liked it way better than the cartoon, because you get a sense of who the character is, because in the cartoon it's the stained glass windows. He's supposedly 10 years old in the cartoon when he gets cursed.
Yeah.
Which...
That was one thing they kind of glossed over, was the age thing in this one.
I think they mentioned it as part of the spell that no one ages while they're affected by the curse.
Oh, I did not catch that in the.
I think they did. I can't.
Because they talked about how it's been years and years, and I'm like,
And everyone's forgotten.
And it's, I mean, the one lady, or one guy's wife is in the castle, and he's just forgotten about her for years and years. Like, I sure hope he didn't find anyone new.
We'll assume it's all part of the magic.
Yeah. There's a lot of that I can kind of just suspend my disbelief for, it's magic. There was some areas in here that I found it really difficult to suspend my disbelief. So, I'm going to give credit to, it's the Nostalgia Critic, but not his Nostalgia Critic part. When he reviewed this with his brother, and they're the one who mentioned this item, and so I was watching for it when I watched the movie, and very intro, they're going through the narrator's explaining about the pretentious asshole and why he ends up turning into a beast. FYI, there's not going to be a non-spoilers and spoiler sections on this, because if you haven't seen the original Beauty and the Beast yet, I don't know what's wrong with you, and there's no real new plot. There's a couple of additional content, but there's no spoilers per se, I'd say.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple. I think I can think of a few.
You're at least 20 years behind the curve if you haven't seen the first one yet. So.
Yeah, and it's Disney. Everyone sees it, unless you're like 5, and if so, why are you watching us?
Also, if you're still in the future, you're at least 30 years behind the curve, so... God, what are you doing so far back in our channel? Let's see.
But during that narration part, the narrator, he dismisses her, and he dismisses her in the video. And then the narrator says again, he dismissed her a second time, and then she started doing the magic. But there was no second dismissal in the film.
Considering the entire interaction takes place with no dialogue and no facial interaction.
There was a pff,
yes,
or a click or a snap or something.
It's not dialogue, though. I mean, it can be implied that there was a double rejection. It didn't bother me enough. It didn't bother me enough to care.
It bothered me a ton, but I was looking for it. So I blame you, Nostalgia Critic.
I mean, I saw it 3 times, and I did notice, but I still didn't care.
Bothered me. But I'm a little nitpicky.
Yeah, that's not a critique. That's a nitpick.
Oh, and so, I don't know. Can I move on?
Yeah,
I've got more topics.
well.
I'm just going to keep pounding through my list.
Well, the next one I've got is a very general statement about the movie. So I like the opening better, and the next thing I like the.
So I thought it was really weird, but I'll agree with you. It was better. It was so weird, but it was definitely a superior intro to Stained Glass Window. But it gets to the first part. You see Belle, and they start singing. And I was prepared, because I've been watching reviews for this. I was expecting auto-tune horribleness for the singing.
Yeah, I was prepared to hate in the beginning.
And honestly, the singing wasn't bad. I thought it was just fine. It was good. I mean, I'll say
she was passable.
Anytime Belle was singing, there was something wrong with it, just a little bit off. It was clear that I think they had to do some auto-tuning to clear her up.
Well, I would say...
But that just means she's not an expert singer.
She had no dynamics in her voice. It was flat notes. There was no embellishment, because the original Belle has a very strong singing voice and is all over the place. But she's hitting the notes and doing nothing more with it.
I'm not even sure she was hitting the notes consistently, judging by the way I could hear that kind of offness in the sound. I really do think that they had to auto-tune a bit of her. It wasn't like they auto-tuned the whole thing and she was just... talking up there, and they just made it into music, which is what I honestly expected going into this. So
the way I'd heard from people, that's what I was expecting.
You mean me?
D'Lo, friend,
the guy we call out on the show all the time. Yeah, screw you. We don't like your opinions.
No,
shifty eyes.
Yeah, I went into expecting to hate it. I went in because I read a bunch of reviews and they said, and so I went in with low expectations.
Same here,
and it was great.
It was much better than I expected.
That's the best way to go into the movie, is to have low expectations. That's what I told my parents. Yeah. My parents wanted to see it, so they asked, "Is it worth seeing?" I said, "Go in with low expectations, but go see it."
Yeah, that is my exact same. Like, this is not as good as the original. I will just say that I did not like it as much as the original, but you should go see it. I think there was a lot of things wrong with it. A lot of things they could have done a lot better. And kind of like my spelling in my notes. But it was worth seeing, very much so. And I think you'll appreciate the original more not just appreciate it more, but I think the original is better for having this remake.
Oh,
And it's not even really a remake. It's like a... I don't even know what I'd call this, because it's basically verbatim the same thing with minor tweaks to make it more palatable for live action.
It's definitely an interesting way Disney's going about, and I'm not sure it's entirely necessary for the most part, because...
Yeah, I'm not sure what the purpose is. I mean, I liked it.
So far I've enjoyed their turning cartoons into live action.
But I'd tell you...
But whether or not it's necessary...
For me, it's more so where would I like them spending the resources. If it's me choosing between this and a new Pirates of the Caribbean, or hell, just any new film with Emma Watson in it, I'd rather have her in a new film.
Well, hell, I would rather they go back to 2D animation for anything. I mean...
I think the problem is it is now more expensive to do 2D animation than it is to do this live action stuff. Even with all that animation, I guarantee that's cheaper than coming up with the art.
I don't think so. Because, I mean, Studio Ghibli's animating software has just been released freeware to the public.
I don't think the cost of the software is the problem. I think the amount of effort it takes to create that stuff is significantly more than actually doing the acting.
Potentially, but the cost of acting. Because, I mean... I know you don't pay attention to actors and actresses, but I could probably not name more than one or two of the voice actors in the original Beauty and the Beast cartoon, because they don't need stars. You don't need stars. You pick the person right for the role because you don't need to see their face, which is why some of them are.
Which is why Luke Skywalker makes such an amazing Joker.
Exactly.
That blew me away when I found that out.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing to think about.
Oh, and watching him do it is the weirdest thing. Oh.
Yeah, it's
so weird.
But that's what I like about animation. You don't need to pick an actor for them being the actor. You pick the person right for the role. Which is part of the problem, I think, with the one casting decision.
I honestly think there was a lot of the voicing in this I did not feel was as good as the original. I feel there was too much focus paid on getting actors in this film and not enough getting in vocalists, which I don't know. Watching musicals, I just kind of assume pretty much all actors are musicians, because that just seems to be the case.
Some can be trained. I mean, are we trying to go through this in order, or are we just bringing up talking points?
I was kind of going through an order. Well, my next topic is on that first song.
Let's keep going through. But this isn't something you'd understand, but for our audience, the new songs in this movie feel very Andrew Lloyd Webber, if you guys...
Yeah, just Weber all the way. It's clearly not like an Andrew score or something like that. It's very much a Weber.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, not at all. I have no idea.
Andrew Lloyd Webber does music for Phantom of the Opera and stuff like that. The music sounds very much his style, especially the singer lady, Audra McDonald.
We wrote her name. Audra.
Her voice was amazing.
We'll get back to her.
Yeah,
Audra McDonald. But along that same note, in that first intro part, like they got to the part where there was some ladies in a shop and a lady with the three girls in the shop, and oh my god, that lady had an amazing voice and played such a tiny role in the singing of that original song. That's what I'm suspecting. I don't know who it was though, but.
I should be the one to know.
There were so many of those in this film. Like, this is more overarching, so we're getting off our in-order topic.
I haven't done a whole lot of outside research on the movie. Because, I mean, I usually like to do that. I'll go through the IMDb trivia.
But from what I've seen, there's a lot of big-name musicians in this, like vocalists, like Audra McDonald, that are very good singers. That none of them play large singing roles in the movie, which is just so bizarre. Why would you get these amazing vocalists?
Well, that depends on your definition of large singing roles. Because, I mean, the two big characters are Belle and Beast, and their singing is going to have to be... There, you have to pick the way Disney thinks about it, you have to pick the actor.
Yeah. And we'll get back to that. But that whole... first song was just off. Oh man! At the same time, I'm complaining. We have all these complaints about the first song.
Oh, in the town.
I loved it. Like it was weird. They made weird changes with it, but it was still so nostalgic, and it was still well done. I had dislikes about it. I don't think it was as good as the original, but man, it hit that original spot right in my heart, and that really made me. I really enjoyed it.
I like the opening song. Unfortunately, I think throughout the song, Belle is a little less likable than she was in the original. Because in the original, she's just kind of wandering through town. In this one, she is actively interfering with stuff people are doing in the town.
She's from the very get-go. Belle is kind of a dick. Right out the gate, she's just walking through people's stuff as they're trying to do stuff, and clearly they're just like, oh, here comes dumbass Belle again. Better get my shit out of the way, or she'll just kick it off the countertop. And it was
look at this baker with the same lame ass rolls every single day.
Oh, did you forget something again? Yeah, I don't remember what. Oh, you. And just, she comes across so pretentious in this, and she comes across a little pretentious in the original. There's a semblance of that.
Yes.
But she comes across so much ruder, so much more of just a jerk in this one. And it's clear why they don't like her.
Yeah.
It's not just because she reads. It's because...
She's weird. Rude.
Yeah.
Not weird.
I don't know if you guys ever had someone like that growing up, that was the person that was... they just get picked on because they're a little overweight, or they're
the person who is the main character in a story that no one else cares about.
Well, no, but then you actually go and try to make friends with this person because no one likes them and they get picked on all the time, and they're just an asshole. All those other things are just kind of subsidiary. I understand why no one likes you. You're just an ass. So those people exist, and I felt that was how Belle came across in this one. She wasn't a good person, just misunderstood by her peers.
And then we'll touch on Gaston because he's my favorite, and I want to go.
Oh,
I really want to go into him, but we're going to go with when he shows up. He's not as outright hateable as he is in the cartoon.
I didn't find him hateable at all. He struck me as the most. From the get-go, he was way more likable than Belle. He's just 100%. Kind of not very bright. He's really trying to express his interests in Belle and trying to be open to her interests, and she's just like,
I mean, because in the cartoon, this is a book. How do you understand it without pictures? And yeah, I've read some books. I haven't read that.
And he just throws it away. He has no respect for her interests. This is very clearly in this movie a man who's interested in her and interested in what she wants and wants her to be happy.
Oh, it was something I noticed the third time watching though. He did try to steal the flowers he gave her. He grabbed them off and he ran after her, but the lady stopped him to make him pay for it.
Oh, okay.
So,
but I don't know if that makes him a dick. That just makes him an idiot. And he very much comes across like an idiot in this movie. But he comes across as a likable idiot.
It felt like kind of a classic romance. How a classic romance would start. You've got this wistful woman in the village and the guy who really crushes on her, and it's hard to hate him because they put him in definitely more of the potential suitor role in this movie as opposed to definitely an asshole.
I'm gonna put it to you this way now. So if I had come into this movie having never seen Beauty and the Beast, not familiar with the plot, at the point where she's captured, I'm thinking Gaston's the hero. He's going to go and save her from this nightmare beast who doesn't become better. Gaston's the actual good guy.
Well, and more of my notes on him as he follows her to her house having the conversation with him. He doesn't overstay his welcome. He understands when Belle wants him. Belle is outright, I think she's outright rude to him.
Because she's beyond outright rude.
He's like, do you mind if I join you for dinner? She's like, no. And he's like, busy tonight? She's like, no. And I'm like, that's kind of rude.
And then just walks off. That's just the end of the conversation. Just, no, I'm not busy.
I think they may have banked too much on us hating the cartoon when designing his character because he didn't come across as evil at first. Because, in the cartoon, he shows up at her house, ready wrecks the place, mud everywhere. He doesn't do that in this.
And this is all, prepared. He's coming to marry her. Not to, express his interest. He's literally showed up to make her marry him that instant.
Yeah,
and just tracks mud through her house. And
yeah, he's going to marry her in the cartoon. He's trying to woo her in the movie. Yeah,
he was not a bad guy at all at this point. At worst, I can say is he's stupid, and honestly, that made me dislike her that much more because how it came across was not only was she rude, she was really rude, and it really just seemed she did not respect him as a person because he was stupid. It really came across like, you don't read books. Like, how could I ever care about you? I really did not like Belle by the intro.
And I actually hope, well, at least for me, I hope I find somebody.
My notes from the... you like that. Gaston is hilariously nice. Not bad at all. Belle is a jerk. That's my note I took from that first intro part while I was watching it.
Mine was more Gaston, hatred of Gaston, question mark?
The other thing I saw was LeFou surprised me with how incredibly funny he was. He had some great lines.
Yeah, he was, because I have a problem with Frozen, and that's the guy who played Olaf in Frozen, so I thought I was naturally going to dislike him, because I didn't like him in...
Oh, the instant I started hearing him talk, I really thought they were going to overplay his, he was probably the character they kind of played on the homosexual tendencies.
Which is complete... I want to cover that. It's BS. I couldn't tell you which scene was the horrible, awful gay scene that's not allowed in theater. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I think it may have been like the dress part, or possibly the...
It was either the dress part or the part at the end where they start dancing together.
Yeah, but neither...
Which is nothing.
Yeah, none of that
hardly counts as a gay moment.
Way overblown. If you're afraid of going to this because you don't want to support like the homosexual movement or whatever it is that you're terrified of, this isn't the movie to make your stand on. It's not bad at all.
Also, to Disney, this isn't the movie you can say, hey, we had a gay character in it and we're best.
Exactly.
God.
This was just, LeFou was greatly done. When I heard him start talking, I thought that, based on what I'd heard everyone say, like, this is going to be so over the top, like, shove flamboyantness down your throat. No, it was done great. I mean, there was like some aspect of that, but LeFou was phenomenal. I loved his character.
The one part that confused me was during the Gaston song when he's got the bite mark on his belly. I was like,
yeah, that's a little
what?
What? You seem pretty proud of that belly bite.
Well, no, more of the fact that Gaston did that.
Why was he wrestling with LeFou?
Exactly.
And why'd you bite his belly? Like, I mean, it's LeFou. You literally pick him up during the song on your shoulder while carrying another individual.
And then, okay, so where we are right now, Gaston's just been introduced. Okay, move on to the dad. Now the dad's introduced.
Oh my God. The father was so well done. And one of the reviews, once again, I'm gonna fortunately give lots of credit to the Nostalgia Critic. He influenced me heavily before I saw it. The way they kind of tell the story of their relationship with the mother and the love for the mother, with the pictures on the wall, the artistic, and the way he had the pantomime statue where it has the guy drawing the mother. It's all very well done, non-verbal, no text, all done visually. It was so well done.
The whole aspect of character building is good because, I mean, it gives a point to the Disney dead parent syndrome.
Yeah.
Because in the old one, Belle, her mom isn't even mentioned.
I thought they did the parents in this so well. And the father as a character, they built him so well. He was the best actor in the film, in my opinion. He did his role so well, and I loved everything about him. Every time he talked, his chemistry with Belle was amazing. He just interacted with everyone perfectly.
Yes, he's very good. Because he's done a lot of musicals in the past. He used to be pretty big in musical movies.
Okay.
Yeah, I really liked him, and he kind of comes to one of my overarching points, is they did a mostly good job of figuring out what things work in live action versus what things work in animation. I mean, there are some things they definitely missed, but there are some things they did really well. Like, Maurice, instead of crazy inventions, axe chopping,
he was like a watchmaker, kind of like knick-knack, doodad, tinkerer. Artist is a big part of that, too. He's very much an artist.
He builds, like, music boxes and stuff like that.
And I thought that was really... I agree with you. That was a wonderful adaptation. The part I got lost in is I never caught the part... They made it clear where he was going to some invention convention in the original. I did not get where he was going other than going to a market at some point to get a rose for Belle. I didn't feel they really gave an explanation from where he was going, especially because he expressly expressed that... redundancy. That... not Belle. Philippe knew where they were going. And I thought that made no sense because they get lost in the original. But they do address that. They have the tree fall in the way, so he has to take an alternative road. And then magic makes the tree come back somehow for reasons.
Yeah, that's not explained.
Well, they explicitly addressed it, which I kind of enjoyed. Well, no, they addressed that. And the tree was down, and it's now back up by some force of magic or something. You believe me, right? Understanding just how more and more preposterous his story is. I liked that bit.
Let's see.
Humor was great in this movie. There was a number of times where I legitimately laughed out loud.
Yeah, and then I really like that. Kind of a weird part for me is when Belle runs up on the hill and starts singing to the high heaven. And I mean,
it's beautiful, wonderful, and then ominous.
Well, for me that part's weird because it's like, are you trying to rip off Sound of Music? Because you could have cut that right out of Sound of Music.
Well, no, that is from the original though. They do that same bit.
Do they?
Yeah, she literally runs on the wide open. Yeah, excuse my singing. I'm worse
Don't
than
excuse
Emma
singing.
Watson.
Downvote.
But no, she does that. But it's this. I mean, it's supposed to be a ballad of like how much she wants to go out there and have adventures and the great wide open and wonderfulness. And then in this movie, it's dark and ominous immediately.
Yeah,
it was
it
a
pans
horrible
over.
transition.
I actually thought it was cool, but
Well,
I mean, it passes the time. But the issue was, it would have been interesting to have them pan to the dad on the road rather than just pan to dark and then cut.
Well, in the original, that's what they did. They panned to dark and then moved to the father side of things and moved into the darker forest and
I've
such.
seen it more recently than I have.
I have a 2-year-old. Yes, I have.
I mean, I've
We
seen
have
it in
been
the No, I've seen it in the past month for sure.
Okay, same, at least a number of times. In the original, though, they have the great. It's all bright, cut. Then it moves slowly into the darkness and gets more and more spooky in the woods. This one, I didn't like the way they transitioned to spooky on the end of the high note for how much she wants to go on an adventure. That was just so... was discongruous for me. If that's a real word. You know what I mean?
Incongruous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, goes to the castle. Dad goes to the castle. I
thought the castle was beautiful, but we've already kind of talked about that.
I like the scene where Chip slides forward. Oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to move.
It might scare you. That was well done. Well acted.
And then, I will say, I found it a little weird that the Beast went nuts because he took a rose.
Yeah,
But,
it was... it holds a special place in my heart because I got screwed for over a rose. He should get screwed over a rose. It wasn't very believable.
It was, well, and I think that's what happens in the original story is...
No, it's just trespassing. He just catches him in front of the fire and
not
locks him up.
Not original movie.
Oh, the original
story.
Okay.
I believe, because in the original story, I believe he has several daughters, and Belle's the one who asks for a rose. He gets to the castle, picks a rose, and then gets imprisoned. I think.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was a little weird, because who flips out that much over a rose? And if it's supposed to be eternal winter at the castle, why are there even roses there?
Yeah, they probably should have been dead. Magic.
Yeah, unfortunately, some of the stuff in that movie just came down to magic.
Some of it really broke my immersion. We'll get to it later, but I'll talk about it. But I did not like the way she literally just threw a stool at Lumiere.
Okay, fast forward. So, okay.
Okay, yeah, she's been captured.
He gets captured, horse runs back to town, Belle comes back with the horse and wanders in.
She decides to change places with him, has the negotiation with the Beast, tricks her father, shoves him out, locks the gates, so she's
which made much more sense than the cartoon where the father's just like, okay, you can take my place.
Yeah. I thought that was better done than the original. So, he gets out of the cage, he gets dragged away.
Well, and just before that, also, he was kind of an idiot, because of course she's going to shove him out the gate. She gets in there, he lets her spin him around and be in perfect position to push through the door. Like,
he trusts his daughter too much, and I don't know.
That's definitely a problem parents have, is trusting their children.
I don't know what you're... Actually, yeah, that is a real problem. My child would never lie. Yeah, yours and no other... Yeah.
Ooh, I met a couple of those parents.
Same. Ugh. So, the first part that happens after that I found annoying was I just didn't find it believable that she would just chuck her stool at the Lumiere. I mean, she literally just saw a monster with horns sticking out of the side of his head, argued with her, had a very rational conversation with him, made a bargain with him, but oh man, a candle that talks? That is just too far. I need to get violent now. I mean, the beast, we can ration with him, but Jesus, a little talking candle, that is serious life or limb death right here.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I think they were trying to illustrate the fact that she had fight rather than flight response. I think that's what they were going for, but kind of a weird
I didn't like
place
it.
to put it in.
It's a nitpick. I do a lot of nitpicks because I just don't feel like... This is one of those situations where I'm nitpicking it because I feel they did it better in the original. I don't think they needed to add in the stool flinging. I don't think that added anything to the story.
That's fair.
I think it made it less believable. And there was a lot of those points where it jarred me out of my suspension of disbelief. Like, she's the strong, independent woman who's totally comfortable literally arguing with a giant beast with horns sticking out of his head.
God forbid that darn candle.
Yeah, and, oh my god, a talking clock? End of the world!
Well, she didn't hit the clock, to be fair.
Well, she grabbed the pot to go after him next, but
but she put it back down.
The clock was enough to bring her back to her senses. The candle was too much, but the clock brought her back down to reality.
And the clock was definitely more uncanny valley than the candle.
Yeah, I did not like what they did with Cogsworth.
Yeah, he was a little too fancy.
And the voice actor for him, I didn't like. I
liked him. Well, I mean, it's Gandalf. I like him.
Oh,
So.
well, I love the voice actor. I just didn't feel it fit the character well. And they gave him so few lines.
I don't know. Because to me, in the original, he's just there to be afraid whenever Lumiere does something.
I just felt he had so much more character in the original. I really could identify Cogsworth. I can picture him jaunting down the hallway with Lumiere as they're trying to take her away from the West Wing. Like, he had real person. Like, sneezes on him and he wipes his face with his little clock. Like, he had real personality in the first one. And he was just dead flat. He was the one who would still run to the beast and be afraid of things going wrong, but never with any real worry.
Okay.
And I don't blame the actor. I love Gandalf. I didn't even know it was him, but I just don't think that was a well done role.
Okay, you can blame it on the rating. I thought it was okay. But...
I would give it okay. I just think it was very vastly inferior to the original. That's my point.
The West Wing. Now let's talk about the West Wing.
Oh my god, they did the West Wing so much poorly.
So much poorly.
In the original, Beast is like, you can go anywhere you want, except the West Wing. And like, very passionate. Like, you shall not go. It's like she's like,
I thought,
why? Well, it's forbidden. It really builds that. She has a reason. She's this inquisitive person who kind of likes to break the rules. There's clearly an incentive and a logic why she wants to go to the West Wing now. In this one...
But for me, I have problems with both of them on the West Wing, because why can't you just say, hey, my room's over here, don't go near it? Is that so hard?
Well, the Beast is kind of an asshole.
Yeah. So, the clock isn't.
Exactly. Why did
Lumiere isn't. Cogsworth isn't.
I don't... Yeah, but...
And they could have told her in the cartoon, too, when they're walking by.
Fair.
Because, oh, what's up there? Nothing. Why can't you just... Yeah, that's the master's bedroom. Don't go.
That's fair. I can give you that. That's an improvement both films could make. But I saw no good, plausible justification for why she was so interested in the West Wing. I thought the Teapot did a fantastic job. Like, a realistic... Oh, don't worry about that. Like, it really felt like it's really not important. You're not supposed to go over there. Like, it's decommissioned, it's dangerous, is what I would think if I had heard the Teapot's reaction. But in the original, it was very clear, like, this is a forbidden area. There's probably something cool up there. It didn't have that level of mystique. They literally just kind of mentioned it in passing, and, oh, yeah, don't go there.
And they may have been banking on the cartoon.
Seen the original.
Yeah, that may have been banking on having seen the cartoon, because... we would already be like, ooh, it's the West Wing, ooh. But if you haven't seen the cartoon, it's less suspenseful. I'll give it that.
Yeah. Once again, I feel the cartoon did that portion of it much better than this one.
Okay.
I think there's improvements they could have made in the cartoon, but it was much better than this one. Do you have any other complaints about the West Wing, or kind of an agreement there?
Well, it's a TV show from the late 90s and early 2000s, I think. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's pretty good. But moving on, what else do I have?
Regarding this, the wardrobe, this is kind of where she's in her room and she meets the wardrobe for the first time, and her her wardrobe is voice acted by Audra McDonald, which is apparently a very famous singer, and you can tell the instant she sings anything, she is an amazing singer. And she has the role of the cupboard, or the closet that can't stay awake. I just felt that they gave her such a small role and took such little advantage of her amazing voice in essentially a musical.
They added songs specifically for her.
At the end?
No, the first one, the opening song, during the dance.
Oh, was she the one who sang that?
Yes, that was.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that was her. I didn't know what she looked like. I just knew that she was the...
Yeah, I mean, you're not paying attention to her as a character at that point yet. So.
And I was all weirded out by the whole environment.
I think you need to see it again.
Probably. I would like to see this one again. I think I'll like it less, unfortunately.
I liked it more the more I saw it.
Once again, go see it. Highly recommend you go see it.
And then next would be the Gaston. So
yeah, now we go to In the Tavern, and oh man, if there was a high point of this movie, like it was starting, meeting the father, next high point was the Gaston song in the bar was so well done. The LeFou changes and the way they did LeFou, it was so beautiful. I loved it.
They expand on the song. I mean, because they add parts that weren't in the original. They extend it to make it a full blown scene as opposed to the
a short little intro.
Yeah, and build on his character a little. It gives him a time to show off and he has a great singing voice. He was
he had a great singing voice.
He wasn't
same with LeFou.
Yeah, I like both of them.
You'll notice a trend here that there's a whole lot of good singing and one not so.
Yeah. There's only one person we want repeatedly compliment over and over and over. Sorry, Emma.
I feel bad because this is the first time I've ever felt that way.
Well,
she did a great Hermione. She really did, from start to finish.
I mean, and she looks that part of Belle. It's just...
Yeah.
Anyway, Gaston's song was good.
Another hilarious LeFou moment was at the very end, and I'm not going to spoil it. It's hilarious. It is hilarious. So well done. Highly go see it.
Yeah, see it. Well done.
Did you find it as funny as I did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
you see it right there?
Yes.
Something LeFou?
Yes.
That was great. Especially because it kind of plays on some of the themes of that town.
Well, and I like how he drags other people into the song, too, almost unwillingly.
Yeah,
dropping the money in the band player's pocket.
Constantly bribing everyone. It's like a...
Hype man. Number one hype man.
Yeah, but he's the opposite of a hype man, because usually the hype man gets paid big bucks by the...
That's fair.
This guy is like the guy who makes Gaston look better, but the one who has to pay for it is him, not Gaston. But that's because he's in love, is the implication. I think he just wants to be like Gaston, is the big thing. So,
then back to the castle.
Yeah, now it's,
No, Maurice comes in.
Oh,
Maurice comes in, flipped out.
So...
Another good scene for me, because...
Actually, before we even get there, did anything in the Gaston part make you think Gaston was kind of a jerk? The part where he shoots the ceiling was the only part where he seemed to have no regard for other people's well-being. But other than that, he still just seemed like a nice guy.
Well, I'm not sure what was going on with the sword fighting on the table, if he was actually stabbing people or not.
I don't think so. I think that was an act. Like it seemed to be rehearsed. And he thank you guys. Yeah. They kind of do this performance in the bar on a regular basis. There's not a lot to do in these small towns.
There's nothing in the song to make me hate him. Yeah,
Except shooting the ceiling of the bar. That was a bit of a dick
Well,
move.
that's a dick move, but not enough to make me. I could see one of our friends doing that. And be
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
dude.
What? Come on, man. It was in the moment. But then Maurice shows up, and honestly, the townspeople are all dicks.
Yes, they are. Very much so.
Gaston, hold on. I'm stupid here. We could all be dumb. Let's not just disregard him out of hand.
I mean,
Gaston is literally the only person in town who believes him. This is the bad guy.
And it's a change from the cartoon either, because in the cartoon they just toss him out.
And literally that's when Gaston starts thinking, we could probably take advantage of that to make it seem like he's insane.
And this one, no. He's like, okay, let's see what's going on. I mean, I crush on his daughter. Let's try and be helpful, because getting it with the dad is a good idea.
And he does that. He actually goes out, they try to find the place, and essentially it gets to the point where this is a wild goose chase. This is getting ridiculous. What's the father's name? Whatever. Maurice. And he's like, look, let's head back. You don't believe me! He gets all blustery and angry. He's getting more and more angry with Maurice.
Oh, we're in the forest now.
I'm sorry, did I skip anything?
I'm not sure. That might have taken place after. So you don't have it in your notes, so I can't keep track. I'm
just jumping into it.
Okay, yeah. So the part in the woods, he's taking Maurice back to where Maurice says.
Well, Maurice is taking them, trying to find the castle, and he's struggling to find it. And honestly, once again, I'm with Gaston on this point. Look,
for most of the point, this is where they start to make him the dislikable villain character.
Yeah, because honestly, I'm with him literally up until the point where he ties him up and leaves him for the wolves.
Yeah, especially because
he's like trying to be nice. He's really trying to be nice. He's really trying to win over this father. And he's like, I want to marry your daughter.
Well, in the explosion, it's because I want to marry your daughter. And he's like, you will never marry my daughter. I'm like, is that really your thing to say?
Yeah, that's an asshole dad. And honestly, not your call. You do not own your daughter.
And if we're breaking it far enough down, it's also a stupid move. You're telling that to your ride in the middle of the woods.
Literally the strongest guy in town. While he is literally trying to help you find your daughter. The only person in town who was even interested in trying to help you find your daughter.
It's not a smart move.
It's a dick move. It is just a straight up dick move. There's no reason why you would ever tell someone, you are never marrying my daughter. Maybe in some situations where they're like a cracked out meth head and like literally have multiple felonies under their belt and they're literally driving you around drunk right now, then maybe you could say that. Still probably not a good idea, but you just don't say that to someone. That's incredibly rude.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll take it back. I love everything about the father up until he says those words, because I could not get behind him. As a father right now, I can't imagine saying that to someone. That's just too rude.
And
I can crush someone.
Might be...
And it does crush him. I mean, that's why I can still kind of empathize with Gaston. This is literally the love of his life, and the father literally just told him he will do everything in his power to make sure you cannot marry my wife. Or my daughter.
And the other part that my sister brought up is Gaston portrays a lot of symptoms of PTSD in that scene.
Yeah.
Because he's starting to lose control, so LeFou drags him back to the war, which is, I mean, it's a safe place that he knows.
Yeah, and that seems to be the kind of person he is. But you still come away scarred.
They're using it. That's what they use to try and make him evil, is the fact that his comfort zone is the war.
But I didn't... For me, I got that. I got that that's what they were trying to do. But for me, like you said, it came across like this guy has PTSD. He actually has issues. And the father is just straight up bullying him. Maurice is just bullying him, and he loses his temper.
It's the one line where Maurice bullies him. He's not going full bore on Gaston.
Yeah.
But Maurice makes one mistake, a very stupid mistake, but the problem is it ruins Gaston.
Yeah.
That Gaston could be redeemable up until about that point.
redeemable. He's not even a bad guy up until that point.
Yes.
He is a great, upstanding member of society until that point. And I still hold, like, it's one bad decision. He loses his temper, and then it kind of becomes a rabbit hole of trying to cover his tracks, trying to fix the situation he's caused, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. I really hope you can't hear my daughter screaming upstairs.
I can.
We can, but this mic can't hear anything, so you probably can't.
Thump, thump.
Because once he makes that bad decision, he punches out the father. Okay, the father's a lost cause. Like, this is beyond a lost cause at this point.
Shoot,
If I want any chance with Belle at this point, I gotta get rid of the father. This is awful, but
yeah, well,
what else do I do? And I can understand his... Well,
you can understand his thought process.
As a real idiot, PTSD, I can see where he comes to that conclusion. Like, this is the war, I've got to do what it's got to take, or I don't know. He's an idiot. But he makes a bad decision.
Tie him to the tree. Bad decision.
An awful decision. Let's be honest. He literally tries to kill Maurice.
Well, no, he leaves him for dead. He doesn't try.
That's an attempt at killing.
Okay, fair.
What? Why?
For defending Gaston.
Oh. He's not a bad guy. He doesn't do anything bad up until he tries to kill someone. Which is a really big jump, and we're back. We didn't talk about anything over there.
No problems.
So, okay. God, we spent a ton of time on that little bit.
This is a long video.
It's gonna be, yeah.
So,
God, where are we at now?
It's such a pivotal scene in the movie. This whole scene, it's where the movie turns.
Yeah.
Because it's when the
Gaston becomes an enemy.
Yeah, it's when the villain and hero roles start to switch places.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to put it. So, speaking of that, I thought some of the stuff that they changed with the Beast, like in the original, Cogsworth and Lumiere talked to the Beast, and don't you think she could be the one? Of course I think she could be the one. Do you think I'm an idiot? I mean, how could he not? He's literally spent his whole life that the only thing can break his spell is finding the one, and a girl just happens to end up locked in his castle with him.
Well, and
you'd have to be a real moron, like Gaston level stupid, to not see that.
It's like the scene in Inside Out when at the end when it's the girl meets the guy and it goes into his head, girl, ah! They're all thinking, girl. Because that is how guys think. Like, oh my god, it's a girl.
It was so not believable. Like, oh yeah, you think she could be the one? Like, oh, the Beast, the man who has been living by himself with no women for years, doesn't possibly think that the first woman not believable at all. Broke my immersion right there. It was just too hard to believe.
All right, so
we're back at the castle.
We definitely did weird. No, we did skip out in the weird part because she goes to the West Wing. She finds the slash picture, which you mentioned.
Oh yeah, we did skip that. So I was really confused because normally in the original he's got a slashed picture over his face, and that's where she sees. Oh, this was a pretty man at some point.
Well, in the original, it's quite a bit of a slash, so you can't get a clear
She literally
picture.
has to recover it by holding it up. That was such a good scene. I wish they had done that again because that was such a well choreographed scene in the original.
Well, and the reason it didn't work in the live action version, or it wouldn't have worked in the live action version, is enough people know what the actor looks like. So you have no idea what the Beast looks like as a person in the cartoon version. You've just got the stained glass window. In this one, we know.
I didn't know what the.
Well, and you see him at the beginning of the movie too.
Yeah, true.
You know what he looks like.
He would not have been recognizable as that original guy.
That's fair, yeah, because all the makeup.
He literally had a painted-on mole.
The point was, you have no idea, no clue what he looked like in the cartoon before turning back.
So I was complaining about this when I first saw it. That's why I wrote it down. I'm like, why do they have this big thing, and why is he clawed himself and the father? Like, this is so much more stuff that has no value to the plot. This is kind of stupid. I was wrong.
Well, and because this relates to the father bringing in some of the Beast backstory. They made the passing comment earlier in the kitchen. I don't know if it sunk in because it wasn't important at the time, but isn't it a horrible thing to judge people by their father? And
yes. That comes after. That comes after.
No, that comes in the beginning. It becomes in the very beginning when when they make a place for her at dinner and he gets mad they made a place for her at dinner.
Yeah, because she had
because she was the prisoner.
You're right. That did come first.
Yep. And yeah, I don't know if that sounds...
Yeah, because I remember what you're talking about. I specifically remember that. They made it very poignant. Like,
notice this part.
Yeah, it was very clear foreshadowing, but I didn't.
And then so it comes back later and we see the painting.
Yeah, they have
of the
a whole
father on the wall.
And it goes further than that. And so while I like the choreographing of the original, I like what they did with this much better. This is one of those points where I feel that their deviation from the original is far superior to the original.
And then
I forgot to write something down. I'll talk about it anyways. Don't worry.
The issue where she's about to touch the rose in the cartoon, she's about to touch the rose.
Yeah, she literally is taking the glass off and she's reaching for the rose
and this one she hasn't even touched the glass.
And she's like, "Oh, look, there's a rose in there.
What did you do?
What are you doing here?"
She clearly did nothing. The glass is still on the rose. Everything's fine.
Immersion break. Once again, you had a solid original. They had a really consistent thing. Just do what they did. It was better. Just better. You did it worse this time.
And I'm not sure what a creative decision would have run that. Because, I mean, I can explain some of it away, but this one I can't...
I imagine it would have been hard to animate, maybe. That's about the only logic I can come up with. Because it's inferior in every way, plot-wise.
Okay. Yeah. Alright, so then she runs away, and she's in... The runaway scene is more dragged out in the cartoon.
Oh, and this is one of the things that bothered me. So this is where he yells at her, or they... Oh, okay, we can talk about the fight scene, which I thought was well done.
The wolves?
Oh, no, this is before the... Yeah, no,
This is
right.
when she runs out and the wolves are attacking her and Beast comes and saves the day.
Yep.
I thought that was better in the cartoon. Well,
Same.
it's more drawn out in the cartoon, but I don't know they could have done the whole river ice breaking with the floating on, because I think that would have been a little ridiculous in live action.
Yeah, I thought they were going to when she got out on the ice. I thought, wow, they're really going to go... That's impressive. No, they didn't.
They're going to pull a Hobbit battle of 5 armies on us.
Hopefully not. But there was a couple of things they did in that fight original that I liked a lot better. They did the roar, which was my complaint. Like I wrote down. Oh, where is it? I swear I wrote it down. I don't think we've gotten that far yet. Maybe I didn't. I wish that he had done the roar. Like in the original, he grabs a wolf. The first one he grabs it, pulls it to his face, and just roar right in its face. And it's very iconic for me in that movie. That was one of the things I remember the most from that movie. That was the turning point that, oh, you done fucked up, wolves. This is a whole nother beast that has showed up to this fight. And he does it at the end, and I just didn't like it as much as, like, it didn't jive for me as much as the original. I saw that they went for it to get that nostalgia. I don't think it was as well done. I wanted to see him holding that wolf to his face and just growl right in it.
Okay, we did miss a pretty big part. Be our guest, because that takes place.
Oh,
kind of a big thing to miss, because that's I love that part in the movie, but I also have some complaints.
Honestly, I had no real complaints about it. I liked the way they kept taking the food away from her. I thought that was a nice addition.
I like that. I did like that. I had kind of a problem with the singer. I love Ewan McGregor as a singer. I love his voice.
Is that Ewan McGregor?
Yeah.
Oh, he did a great job.
Yes,
So I've complained about a number of the songs pretty much whenever Belle's involved, but I thought Lumiere did a fantastic job.
He does a fantastic job. But I think forcing him to do the French accent limited his ability. Because no one else in the movie has a French accent. But they make him do it, and I think it takes a little bit away from his natural singing.
I do think it literally is because he says, after all, dear, we're in France.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
So if there's one person you're going to stick the French accent on, it's the one who literally refers to himself being in France.
Well, and it's the American tradition of, oh, they're foreign, they must be English. So...
Yeah, I didn't like that about Emma Watson. The English kind of stood out to me. It bothered me throughout the film.
Well, everyone in the movie's English except Lumiere. And
that movie. That song though was another high
I love
point.
this. I like the part with Cogsworth bursting out.
Yeah,
I love that part.
I thought
because he finally gets into it in Cospa, and then interrupted by Lumiere.
Yeah. See what I mean? It's such a small role. Like, he was doing more running around and complaining during that song in the original. A lot more.
Parts of that song were great. Some of it was a little ridiculous with all the dusters was a little weird.
Yeah, I agree.
Were there that many maids? And
yes, there was.
And then some of the... I mean, it's a little ridiculous in the cartoon, too, because they just create lines of plates and cups bouncing back and forth. And that was a little weird, but overall,
But honestly, they could have been just magicked. Those could have been magicked plates and cups, because we don't know.
Where are you going to find the solid purple background that they had?
But overall, I'd say that one I can't say is worse than the original. At worst, I'd say they're of equal value. They were both great, the original and the new one. I really liked the Be Our Guest. They did that justice.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I just think he would have
done better if he didn't have to do a French accent.
Yes, as I think he had to redub most of the movie because his first try sounded Mexican. I think I read that. I think I read that in an interview somewhere.
That's awesome. I want to hear that. Honestly, I didn't even write anything down about it because it was just well done. I had no complaints about that.
Yeah, my only complaint was maybe a little overproduced in visuals.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
I even put down in my notes. Music is still fun. Music's still fun.
Yeah, all of the music in this is really well done. I do say that. That was one thing. The father, we kind of skipped over this. I wanted to talk about the father singing that first little bit, that kind of melancholy song he does in his little cut. That was so well done. He has an amazing voice, and that was a great little bit. One of the better singings in the movie, which is saying something.
And then fast forward a little bit to
back to just got the fight. They just got off
caring for the beast.
He cares for the beast. She cares for the beast, puts him on the horse, gets him back. I liked that they didn't break the immersion and explained how she managed to get this enormous behemoth on a horse. Yeah,
as opposed to in the cartoon where it's just suddenly he's on the horse.
Yeah, just it happened. Don't worry. I used levers and such. I'm an inventor's daughter.
Plot device, Mr. Frodo.
Magic.
This is one of the best parts with the furniture people, because this is where they build them into why they're still here, why they give a crap.
And they did that great. They really did give a good.
Oh, and it's almost a single throwaway line is, why did you guys did nothing to deserve this? And she's like, you're absolutely right. We did nothing to fix this situation. And that's...
Yeah. It was a great way they phrased it, the way they really take responsibility.
Yep.
It really connected, like you said, it really builds and makes you connect with them as persons, not just as dancing machines.
Spectacles, yeah. Not actual spectacles, but...
They got those too, but...
Yeah.
I mean, actually, Cogsworth basically is just a spectacle.
Pretty much. Yeah, they...
And this is where it gets back to that the dad on the picture. You find out here they build the backstory. Is it at this point? Or is it later?
It's coming up. Yeah.
Sorry, we bumped you. Sorry,
viewers. It's about this point where they go with the father.
Explain, because that's like we did nothing. He had an awful father apparently. This is the first spoilers I think we really touch on.
Yes, probably. But I do want to make a comment. I thought the furniture being sympathetic rather than selfish was interesting. Like when she's running away from the beast, they're shouting after, "No, don't go, it's dangerous," as opposed to, "No, don't go, you're our only chance."
Well, they first started off with stop her, and they lock the door. That was actually a little disturbing. It made me a little scared for the first time of the furniture. They're actually a little bit more aggressive about keeping her there than he is.
Well, I don't know, because they are shouting her, "It's dangerous."
Yes, they do.
Because it's the middle of the night, it's cold,
and she literally does get attacked by wolves.
Yep. So it sits on the line.
So this is part where I got frustrated by how badly they did the West Wing part. It's, well, this wouldn't have been a problem if you hadn't run away. Well, you shouldn't have scared me. Well, you shouldn't have been in the West Wing. Wait, I wasn't supposed to be in the West Wing? You never told me that. Is it forbidden? That sounds like something you should tell me, that it's forbidden to go in the West. They take that line
Beast
quote.
and Belle don't have the conversation about the West Wing. She has it with everyone else. That's a good point.
And they
I
don't
didn't
say
think
it's
about
forbidden.
that.
They just say don't go there. They don't. The West Wing really pissed me off. It really pissed me off.
All right, and then what next? Then they do the very brief backstory with the Beast and his
Which
dad.
is really well done. Even though it's short, I thought it was well done. It gave him character.
Yep.
Which is something he really had none in the original. He was just a dick because he's a dick.
All right, 1 second.
We can probably leave it open as long as no animals show up. It's warm.
Um,
These lights are bright. We actually have lighting now. Production quality. Shitty mic lighting.
God, it's nothing compared to what we have now, though. I mean, now as in 10 years in the future. When you watch
the big flood lamps we have currently are so wonderful.
The studio, the desks.
And with that nice condenser mic. Oh.
Not to mention the
Thank you for
camera
coming
guy.
back and watching this and some of the old technology we had to deal with.
Yeah, it's
Before we made it big and got some
it's a
YouTube
pain.
money.
It's going to be so much easier
That
when all
YouTube
that
money?
stuff comes around. Yeah, exactly. Definitely. That's what we're looking forward to in the future. Anyways,
So
relationship.
this is where the romance really starts. I think they almost kind of jump into. They argue, or while he's still recovering, they do the romance on
with
he
the book.
reads.
Yeah, when she's reading to him and laying in bed.
And I don't feel that this is romantic. Like they both like to read,
And
he actively mocks her choice in books.
It's not. Well, I mean, it's not supposed to be romantic. It's a connection. They are forming a basic connection. They both like to read.
Yes.
Which they don't really form basic connection in the cartoon. They just kind of
They spend time and
yes.
come to like each other. You're right. But so in the original,
And there's a part later that I want to discuss too, specifically about how they bond.
The library, I didn't like how they handled the library in this one.
You liked it better as the gift rather than oh yeah, this is here.
It wasn't a romantic gesture in this. It was literally something he tried to use to prove her wrong. It's like, name a better book. Here, let me go get a couple. And goes to take her to the library to show her the books that he thinks are better than her favorite book. And then she expresses how wonderful and amazing the library is. So he, oh yeah, I guess you could have it. And she's all awestruck. But he doesn't, there was no actual effort on his part to do anything nice for her there.
I wouldn't say it was just to show her, yeah, these are all better than the books you read. It's like, because her knowledge of what books there are is limited, as shown in the beginning. Another good point to mention in the beginning with the library in town, I liked how they did it in this one as opposed to the cartoon, because it shows just how limited her selection is.
To put in perspective just how much better Beasts is.
Yes. Well, not only that, makes it more believable for a small town to have like 6 books as opposed to full library. And more likely that she's read and reread all the books there as opposed to the one in the cartoon.
So,
and then
did you have anything more in the library?
no, I think
So,
we're good.
this is where they have the eating food together, and Beast just straight up sticks his face in the soup. And so in the original, Beast has got this, gigantic animalistic face. He literally can't, and giant,
Okay,
paws.
yeah.
There was a reason why he would literally just lap the soup up with his tongue. And
He actually had a muzzle
and he had a tongue that was designed for doing it. He ate soup like a dog because he was kind of canine in nature. It made sense. Here, he just literally shoved his mouth in and just went and came up and just covered in soup.
and because he wouldn't have been able to breathe while eating.
It really broke my immersion. It just looked ludicrous and really unbelievable.
Also, I don't know if they did it on purpose, but the tomato soup making it look all bloody. It made it look
I didn't
like
even
blood.
think of that.
I was like, yeah, that's a little disturbing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was intentional or not, but
Yeah, now that you mentioned that, that's actually really disturbing. and just so nonsensical. Like, they tried to stay true to the original, but this was a place where they probably should have changed it based on artistic choices and done something differently. I would have done it like some sort of roast of meat, and he's just, ripping it off and juices all over himself. That would have made more sense.
I did think of something else I want to say about the library, though.
Okay.
In the original cartoon, the Beast can't read, which I find believable, because he's French aristocracy during the French Revolution.
And he was 10.
Yeah, they wouldn't care. He wouldn't necessarily have cared to learn to read, or anyone cared to teach him. But in this one, he is well educated, and it also makes sense. I think both versions of the story make sense. You can go either way. Which
I'll give it a little. I'll give it to the new version actually, because it gives them, like you said, that connection.
Yep.
The fact that they both read and have similar books that they've read and can have conversations on it is something that Belle's never had.
Yep.
So that's I can get behind that. I like that they made that decision.
And I have more on their bonding later that I really liked. But what's coming up next? We were
Snowball fight.
Soup to the snowball fight. Okay.
That one was I did not like the snowball fight.
Well, it's to be fair, it's two snowballs thrown, and it's the second cut that makes it weird because she gets pelted by a huge snowball,
and it takes her out.
You'd think she'd be injured or have some sort of reaction. But
I was expecting her to have two black eyes in the next scene. That's what I was expecting.
And they just cut away. That was a little weird to not.
And they didn't even just like play it off. It's not like he dumped the snowball on her and she's covered in snow and ha ha ha. No, it smashes her in the face and she goes down,
flying back
onto the concrete, like this, or not.
And he laughs, and then cut away to the next scene, and they're fine.
It is just lack of care. Like when I saw her go down, I expected him to be like, "Oops, I screwed up," and go help her. But no, he's just like, and cut.
Yep,
it was so,
and it's just not acknowledged. And then
I seriously thought he had seriously hurt her, and they were gonna make that into part of it. Her at the table, a little frustrated with two black eyes.
Sorry.
And the shadows were the way in the next scene because they're at the table eating dinner. I thought she did, and I just couldn't see it quite well. Oh.
Let's see.
I thought that would have been funny.
Beast animation.
Missed an opportunity.
Beast animation. Is there a specific part with the beast animation?
That was at the dancing part. So.
Okay. Yeah. Because we got a way to go.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't have a lot to say here. This was one part. So there's a couple of parts where Belle and Beast sing side by side, and never had her look that way at me before. In the original, they're out in the field, and he's like peeking around a tree while she's doing something. He's watching her.
And she's not actually looking at him.
Yeah.
And this one, they're actually interacting with each other.
Yeah, but he's literally singing it. Like he is singing it physically, and she is literally sitting across the table from him while they're having a quiet dinner together. And it's just like...
Well, and she's sitting on the ladder singing about him with him holding the books down there.
In this one?
Yeah, in this one.
Okay.
Because they're picking his favorite books off the shelf, and she's singing about something I didn't see before.
Yeah, there was and the Pots do it too. Like, they're singing about them, like, while you can literally hear them talking in the background. They're so close. And it really broke my immersion that they're literally singing out loud right in front of each other. Like, I can get, like, in the original, they do a lot of this singing in their heads. Beast isn't literally like, la, 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 la. This part's very much in their heads, like they're coming to different realizations, not literally singing about how I'm finding you very surprising right to your face in song. It was super weird and broke my immersion.
We are definitely jumping around.
I like the song, though. That's where I'm at, though.
We missed the origin story. Because, the part that I want to talk about comes around the origin story.
Oh, that's in the library, yeah.
Because the introduction.
That's when he gets a little funny.
Introduction of the
library.
Yes.
Later in the library, though. I think this is all about the same time. Because it's while the snowball fight happens, they have the...
Well, according to your order, we cut back to LeFou and Gaston before...
Well, that comes next.
Before the snowball fight.
Oh. That's why I couldn't find the snowball?
Huh. Because...
Oh, yeah, that would make sense, though, because they do cut back before the real romance starts.
A new addition, this is spoilers territory, a new addition to the curse is this book the Enchantress left that allows them to travel anywhere in the world.
Love what it does for the plot. Really breaks my immersion, because that's a very powerful tool that they could have, say, used to get to the dad immediately.
Well, no, I don't think it's physically teleporting. Well, and that's what's weird, because I don't understand if it's physically teleporting them or projecting images of the outside world. Can other people see them when they're doing it?
So he specifically says how he doesn't have a place as a beast anywhere in the world, so it's a giant taunt to him I think that means it literally teleports you to a place, and it's useless for him because he can't make use of it because he's a beast.
Huh?
So
Okay.
I think it was physical teleportation. At least that's how it came across.
And I mean, it has to be because she picks something up and
brings it back
with
yeah.
her. But it's weird because it's a very, very powerful tool
that they just kind of don't acknowledge ever again.
Yeah, they gloss over. It's used as a tool to tell the backstory, which is good.
I love what they did with the backstory there. That was a great addition.
It adds to
both Belle and to Beast.
And to the dead.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to spoil that part, though, because that's a really emotional part.
I won't add anything.
It's so well done. That's why I say you should go see this. This takes, and you can just kind of impose a lot of the stuff we learn in this onto the original, where it makes sense. And I feel it really fleshes out the original and gives Maurice motivation and a character, and Belle more motivation and character, an actual reason why she's got to be so strong and independent. And it's really well done on the backstories. And that's one thing they did way better.
Yes. And then one back at the castle, they have the quiet scene in the garden that while the furniture's inside singing and having a good time, and he talks about all the laughter seems to stop whenever I step in the room, and she's like, yeah, I know exactly how you feel. I'm like, they're connecting.
They're really connecting. They connected much better, actually. So I feel plot wise they connected better, but I don't feel that the characters, like the acting, they just did not have as much chemistry as they did in the original. I thought it was well done, but I blame Emma Watson.
Because I like how they make them despite the fact that they come from very different backgrounds, they're actually very similar in the way they are reacted to by the people around them.
Yeah.
And it's something they can bond over. It gives them something legitimate to bond over, which is...
So I would say that the story writing for their connection is much better in this. It's not just kind of, we naturally kind of like each other now because we threw snowballs at each other.
In the cartoon could be called Stockholm Syndrome. This one is a less Stockholm Syndrome because you see them actually bond.
I would say I missed that they didn't do the part with the feeding the animals.
Oh, yep.
I feel that was something they really lost out not doing.
Yeah, that was they replaced it with the petting the horse scene,
which I thought was so much worse.
It didn't add anything.
No. Because it didn't really show him becoming tenderer the way that the working with the chipmunks and birds did.
All right. Let's move on before we take too much time.
We're already well into that, so don't worry.
We may be at over an hour at this point. Cutting back to
we are
the village with
this is where Maurice gets back.
Maurice is in the woods. He's been stuck to the tree for several days.
I'm not sure who saves him. I think it's
the Enchantress.
Yeah.
Shit. Spoilers.
I don't think it's an important spoilers because they really don't do anything with it.
No, she's there. She's present throughout the rest of the movie.
I know, but they don't do anything with it up until the end. I mean, so
they're building a character for. They're showing that she's present throughout the whole thing.
So Enchantress saves him. I don't think this is a major plot point spoiler because it doesn't really add to the plot any. Because Maurice has to get back. I mean, you know that's how this works. That's why Belle has to go back. So
Maurice is tied to the tree because of Gaston, and she comes out of nowhere, finds him, and nurses him back to health.
And then brings him back to town.
5 days. Yep. A matter of 5 days. Because there's kind of a time jump. Because
you're
wondering what the heck Fu and Gaston are doing not back at town already.
Yeah.
What
have they been doing? And they cut away from him being tied to the tree, and then they just have this wonderful romance scene. It was a very jarring, I don't know, what's pacing or theme jump? Because I'm still sitting there, what about Dad? How does he get back? Is he just still out there for days, tied to a tree?
And
then they explain.
Yeah, they explain.
I felt that they could have done that better pacing wise.
That's fair.
But that is my most nitty of nitpicks for this review. But so they get him back, unless you have more to add.
Let's see notes.
So while he's researching, the lady nurses Maurice. They bring him back to town, and then Gaston and LeFou show up.
Have we gotten to
The dance?
Beauty and the Beast song yet?
No.
No, not dance.
Because they have to...
That's my next
Maurice has to be having his issues before they do their dance.
It's sideways similarities in the next...
So they bring Gaston and LeFou show up finally, and now he's been accused of trying to kill Maurice, which is what he did. And now this is where I say Gaston's character gets worse and worse because he's stuck in an unwinnable situation. Does he give up trying to pursue Belle, or does he go deeper down this rabbit hole of awful decisions?
Yeah.
Which is why I can still kind of...
And I can see so many... It's so easy to go down the rabbit hole of making more and more stupid decisions. Once
you make one bad one, especially a really bad one like trying to kill someone.
Yeah, because it can spiral.
How do you come back from that?
Yeah,
I guess I did. I mean, it's good to see you survived. I really lost my temper there, didn't I? Lost your temper? You tried to kill me!
Well... It's kind of weird for me because I don't know if this is going to get weird personal, but I had a dream at one point where I had kidnapped or I had accidentally trapped someone in like a box or something, and then I remember several days later, and I'm like, oh crap, I didn't get that person. God, this is going to be God, I'm going to jail. But it didn't. I woke up and it took me a couple days to realize, at no point I thought about actually just leaving that person there and killing them. I thought, crap, I've ruined my life, not how can I fix this in horrible ways.
Yeah. But it would be easy to go down that path.
It would be very easy.
I mean, I think about this in real life. Like, don't punch someone in the face. Don't do it. Like, no matter how mad you get, don't do it, because it's not uncommon. Well, it is uncommon, but it happens where you punch the guy in the face, he falls over backward, hits his head, and he's dead. You just killed him. In a spurt of rage, you just killed a guy. And now,
also, your hand's gonna hurt too because you don't know how to punch.
Let's be honest. You're overweight and you don't know how to fight. You're just like us.
Or you're underweight and don't know how to fight.
Yeah, but regardless, you don't know how to fight. And so, don't do it. But now you've punched this guy. You killed him. Now what do? It's already dead. I mean, sure, Gaston makes much worse decisions, but it's not that unreasonable to end up in this horrible situation, and suddenly you think, you know what? I better try and hide the body, because I'm going to jail. I just committed murder. And not saying I've done this. I've not done this. I haven't been in a fight, period.
Yeah,
like I said, you're strong and know how to fight like me.
If I go missing in 10 years...
He's going to try to hide me in a box.
Yeah, if I go missing in 10 years, you...
And if I go missing, just ask him about the box. And if he can't answer...
I just take the box and I put things in the box and I go to the box.
This is the box acquisition zone? That's an inside joke for the other guy who doesn't watch us.
Good. Take that!
So, Gaston starts making really bad decisions at this point. He accuses Maurice of lying, says he's crazy, and this is one part I didn't like. They really didn't do a good job of making LeFou bad. I couldn't...
Well, and I don't think they wanted to.
But I didn't like that, because LeFou was supposed to be a bad guy with Gaston. In the original, he's just as bad as Gaston, if not worse.
Yeah, well, and I like New LeFou. I really do.
I do, too, but... So, I'll come back to this.
I suppose it doesn't make as much sense for him to defend Gaston in this because of how good he's been.
Exactly. I was struggling to...
That's fair. Especially because of all the passing comments he makes about... God, this is all wrong, and he keeps doing it.
Yeah. Like, he was not okay with leaving Maurice. He understood that this is really bad.
And it's 5 days later, and he's still talking about going back to fix it.
Yeah. And he still just, lets Gaston get away with it, and I couldn't really relate with him at that point. Maybe it's, once again, you're in too deep and you can't get out, but... I didn't like that aspect of it. I would have preferred if, honestly, he would have been the devil on his shoulder, kind of keeping Gaston doing the bad things.
Yeah.
I think that would have worked with the story better. I'm cool with good Gaston, and honestly having LeFou be that devil on his shoulder who keeps prodding him towards those worst decisions. Instead of, let's grab Maurice and bring him back and try to salvage the situation, LeFou's like, just leave him here. I mean, no one's going to find out. LeFou could be that idiot bad influence that really makes Gaston the bad guy he is. Which would have worked better for the ending, because I've got a complaint about how they deal with Gaston as well.
Yeah,
this is such a talkable movie.
It's why when I walked out of the first movie, ripe for reviewing, let's do it. let's see. Now we get back to the castle.
Well, do you want to have anything more on that section? I think I might have more. Him getting accused of being crazy and... so another part. He straight up goes up to the Enchantress, the one who literally turned someone into a beast forever for calling her ugly. Goes up, this hideous creature...
Well, he has no idea.
No offense.
He has no idea.
Yeah, but she's the Enchantress. She literally put someone as a beast forever for the same thing, and just lets Gaston slide.
Nothing happens. I suppose, yeah.
I mean, you're stupid, so I guess I can't hold you accountable for your stupidity.
Well,
why didn't she do anything about Gaston? I mean, if she'd done her job as an Enchantress, Gaston wouldn't have been able to go kill the beast.
That's fair.
Come on, do your job. You're a shitty Enchantress.
I would do a much better job as an Enchantress.
I agree, and he looks great in a dress. I thought I maybe would have been able to pull that off with a straight, but no. Not actually seen him in a dress in case anyone gets all... Oh! It's not a thing, don't worry. Now, our other friend who I know is watching this, I've seen you in spandex, and...
Alright, back. What else is there?
So now I think this is the part where they, like...
And they accuse him of being crazy. Well,
now we go back to the castle.
Another thing that wasn't believable for me was suddenly the villagers are on Maurice's side and not Gaston. Because before crazy Maurice, a beast has kidnapped his daughter, and now he comes back. Gaston tried to kill me, and suddenly they're on his side.
Well, they were easily swayed.
True, but it is kind of for me it was kind of weird because why they're just swapping sides.
Yeah,
really.
It does seem a little ridiculous.
All right, and then back at the castle. I like how they explain why they're doing a dance. They do it.
Did they? I totally missed that.
Yeah, when he's washing up, he said, because he's all frustrated, like, I didn't think she'd actually want to have a dance. Go in and say, oh, it'd be nice to have a dance in here sometimes. She's like, yeah, let's do one tonight. And he's like, oh, God. What have I done?
Oh, I missed that. That's great. I completely missed that. And I wasn't even taking notes at that point. I was just spaced out. I'm a good movie reviewer.
I actually bothered to take notes. God, it's good.
Yeah, it's really good.
If we haven't said that enough.
This is where actually I did take notes here, because this is where he still didn't believe that she could be the one. And that was just ridiculous. I mean, he's already falling for her, and it's clear that there's something, possibly something there.
I wasn't paying attention to that aspect.
So we were paying attention to different aspects
during
the getting groomed. That's a little concerning. But
I was definitely paying attention to his wet, furry
body. Yeah, I guess I have kind of been romancing her for a while. I guess maybe she could be the one. Maybe you guys are onto something. Yeah, that is very believable. I guess if it don't succeed, just run with it. Just go with the guy that has no idea how, being affectionate towards women works. Because those exist.
I guess so.
So the only thing I really had to say... Wow, why did I have the snowball here? That's so out of place. The beast animation for the dancing was incredible. This is some of the best animation I've ever seen. I was really impressed.
I have a complaint about before the dance. The embroidery in Belle's dress comes from the weird golden whatever the hell hanging off.
I have no idea where that came from. Some gold thing in the sky.
Exactly. In Belle's room, there's some weird gold floating vine magical, and it confused the hell out of me because they bring it up when she first comes in the room. They don't show what it's attached to. They don't show what it is. It's just kind of gold floaty branch like antlers and all of my decorating kind of thing going on. And then
it's bad when I use antler and all my decorating is more plausible and understood than whatever her ornament comes
from. And then
from.
it's just
this is spectacle for no reason.
Yes. It's another thing that worked in the cartoon but didn't work in live action because suddenly it's just floating down and surrounding her dress and drawing magical pretty lines.
I know this was some animator, like he had done this and he really wanted to make use of it and like proposed it and make sense be damned, this is cool. And it was cool. I mean, they had it like melting off the stuff and the water, the molten metal goblets coming down. But it was just spectacle. No point at all.
Yep.
I did not like it. I thought it was ridiculous.
I will say, because when I was taking notes looking at the dance scene, I'm like, I wonder if she's dancing with nothing? If she's dancing with a giant, like, prop or something? But it looked real.
It was so well done. I couldn't believe how well that dance looked. I was really impressed with that dance.
Although, I do like the imagery of the ballroom better in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Because the focus on the ceiling, the ballroom looks much more expansive and colorful. And
yeah, this one's much more drab, and it was very much focused on the two of them.
Yep.
They did
which
them
might be
well,
the point, but I liked the visuals better for this scene. And then in the live action version, everything just starts sparkling, and then they're in a starry sky and fireworks, and that didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, but it was really beautiful.
It was pretty, but it's like...
Well, it was, I pictured it as that kind of metaphorical, like, explaining whoa, this is really a magical experience for them, and kind of displaying that pictorially. It's not actually in the sky of fireworks, but that's the emotions going on right there. This is a really special moment for them, too. That final connection to really make it click.
Right before she runs away.
Yeah, I thought they did that well. I had no complaints about that.
No, I didn't either.
This is where it gets a little scary about
my complaint was she ran away in the dress.
Yeah, that was just...
So you take it off. She spent a lot of time making that dress.
That made me
think...
And
you're just going to throw it in the street later.
Watching that, all I could do was think of, like, an anime where it's, like, the anime girl, like, just running away in this excessive dress. To, like, this is just how I fight, because that's how we do it here in Japan. Dresses be damned. We fighting.
I guess so.
It was so preposterous. And she rode the whole way back on that. And I'm still not sure how far that is. I think it's like 5 days, or took her like 5 minutes.
It's got to be at least a 12-hour ride, because
Maurice left in the day.
Yeah, he leaves in the morning.
Well, he was going slow. She ran the whole way.
Well, she arrives in 5 minutes.
Not even. She must have taken the book.
I don't... The travel distance between the village and the town is weird, because in the beginning, Maurice leaves for the castle, and he doesn't get there till night, and then the horse running away from the castle doesn't get back to the village till the next day. Meanwhile, Belle leaves the castle and is in town in 5 minutes at the end of the movie.
And the same thing with Maurice recruits them, and it takes them a long time to go out and try and find the place before he gives up and comes back. Like,
well, and
the time just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
here.
the distance time between,
which is honestly a minor gripe, but it was a little jarring.
Well, and it makes the film flow better, because you can't have...
I think they could have worked that.
I don't know.
I suspect there's an...
It would have been longer cuts focusing on groups. No, they had to do it... I don't know. Well, I can think of how to do it better, but that's not really the point of this.
Yeah, fair enough. We've done it already, though. You've already been doing that. But let's move on.
My next note is part of the song where they're going to Conquest. So what have you got?
I've got nothing for that. This is where they make LeFou into a good guy at this point, and it's really... I was really struggling to believe
how about
LeFou
the
being a
Beast
good
solo?
guy.
Solo
great.
song.
The Beast is don't I say that? Like Beast, yep. Yeah, Beast was a great singer.
It was a good song, and it was a good illustration of his... It was a great way to capitalize on his character.
The only complaint I had with that, and I did have a complaint about that, is it should have ended with that howl of pain, that hurt wolf sound.
Might have been overextending, but
I think it would have been perfect, because that end on a high note, like it's a beautiful musical. This didn't fit at the end, because he was really singing a happy song. There was no real melancholy, heavy.
Well, because
he's moping after that.
It was one of the other songs too. This song and one of the other songs. The way the song ended, I was almost picturing and roll credits, because it's one of those songs that could be. The style is a end of a movie kind of song, and
I really liked that song, but I really felt it should have ended sadder to lead forward to him being sad that she doesn't come back, and then being happy when she comes back.
Yeah, it's more of an ending song rather than a.
He's found his fruition, even though it's a bad ending for him. He's come to his terms.
Yeah, and then
So I say it should have ended with that howl, which is another iconic moment that and it scares the horse to run that much faster, which could potentially explain how she managed to move at the speed of light.
And then, all right, back at the town, Belle shows up, and this is another scene with Gaston where I'm not sure that he was fully in the wrong.
Yeah.
Because he sees the beast.
And then just immediately like, this is a dangerous behemoth with a magical mirror that she's given this girl. She is clearly in Stockholm Syndrome. FYI, which she is.
Yeah. It's weird because in the cartoon, Gaston goes out of his way to make up stuff about what this beast could potentially do, and it's the villagers who do it. It's not Gaston. He just plays off what people are saying. It's totally believable that someone could see this and say, "Oh God, she's compromised. Got to go stop this thing. It's a problem."
I honestly was kind of with them. They didn't make it clear that he wasn't actually a bad guy. She really does come across as Stockholm Syndrome with Crazy Dad here, who's already been accusing people of murder. And we've got Crazy Dress Lady, who's in love with the guy who's been holding her capture, according to Crazy Dad.
Well, not only that, Belle's been missing from the village for at least a week.
Well, she just confirmed that Crazy Dad was right. This is a crazy guy who locked her up. They've been trying to save her. And now she's going to say, oh, no, he's totally fine. He's totally cool. I mean, I didn't just show up in a giant yellow dress for some reason.
The way it's weird. And it doesn't do enough to vilify Gaston for me. And
once again, I think...
Because they make...
I can't even get mad at Gaston. I think he made a reasonable decision. They probably shouldn't have just gone and burned the place, but...
The villainous thing... Well, the couple villainous things he did, where tying Maurice to the tree was the only... And they tried to make him a villain by making the war his comfort zone when he was...
Yeah, which I don't think is fair.
And also almost not really believable.
Yeah.
Especially the way he talks about the random women pining after him in the town. Because he's absolutely not interested in them.
Yeah, he's clearly not interested in like a one-night stand. He wants Belle. He's one man, one girl.
Yep, he wants the relationship, and then his comfort zone is widows. The war widows.
Which seemed not believable once again because of his character.
God, because it's...
Or at worst... He was clearly a womanizer at one point, and he's grown up. He's actually a better guy than he was in his teenage years.
I can't decide if what they did with Gaston was good or if they did it bad. Well, I like the actor, so I want to like him in the movie, but it's also the villain, and we're supposed to not like him.
And man, they picked the right guy for that role.
Yeah.
He did a great job. But so...
more complimenting...
This is where I really disliked what they did with LeFou. Because I felt they did a good job with LeFou, but I disliked what they did with him.
Okay, and he has the throwaway line in the song where, ooh, maybe Gaston's the beast. And I'm like, no, not even you should be thinking that at this point. You're thinking, oh God, he's making more stupid decisions. Not oh God, he's a beast and a horrible, condemned, go to hell.
This is a reasonable condition, this one. I mean, why would LeFou think that the beast is totally harmless?
Yeah.
I mean, they literally just locked a guy up for being crazy because of this crazy story, and now they found out, oh yeah, he actually did get locked in a castle, and that beast did in fact lock Belle up. LeFou should... Shit, we need to let we don't need to keep them locked up, but we do need to go deal with this freaking kidnapping beast.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't feel that they did the motivations here right.
No.
It would work if LeFou was the bad guy. I think that they really need to make LeFou the bad guy. Because now, LeFou goes...
yeah, and I could see Gaston being the idiot dancing around at the end in the wedding, hitting on all the women.
And it's LeFou that gets knocked off instead during the final scene, and then the beast gets saved, and Gaston realizes the error of his ways. Oh, that'd have been so much better. Gaston gets a happy ending. LeFou's the bad guy. We need to
make notes, Disney.
We need to remake this movie.
And
But they still played it like LeFou was a bad guy. They get into the castle, and Gaston doesn't get beat up at all. He literally gets to use LeFou as a punching bag, and LeFou gets the crap beat out of him.
Well, to start with, no, he's getting the crap beat out of him. But the piano comes up and tackles him, and then Gaston runs away. Ooh, man, that's rough. And the piano presumably lets him up.
Oh, I love it's hero time. And then the piano's like, ooh, ouch. Everything with LeFou was hilarious. Loved LeFou, but I didn't feel they played his character right. They could have done all that and still made him the bad guy.
Yep. It's
They treat him like a bad guy throughout the movie, but they don't give him the personality to be treated the way he does or do the things he does.
What did you think of the fight scene in the castle?
It wasn't as good as the animated, but I liked it.
Yeah, I don't think
a little silly.
I don't think the fight scene in
as silly as piano keys.
I don't know, surfing down the stairs with scissors towards the LeFou. That's a little ridiculous in the card. I mean, it's great,
but it would work. I mean, like that makes sense. Like he legitimately just stabbed the guy in the butt with a pair of scissors. And that's why, like, I struggled so much, because I'm like, are they going to beat the crap out of LeFou like they did? I mean, I remember him, like, going after the...
Oh, yeah, violently going after Lumiere.
With, like, going to melt him.
Yep.
Which leads right into the part where Cogsworth has a fantastic, like, Napoleon dive-in with the scissors. Cogsworth had character.
Well, he has the... Well, I suppose he runs and hides behind the wardrobe in this.
Yeah, he does diddly squat.
I liked him throw... Those are called books! Which I appreciate. And then...
And why are the books flying? I thought they were just books.
Magic... Well, the silverware is flying.
Yeah.
There's...
The silverware were people.
Magic... Not all of them.
I don't know! This isn't consistent.
No, the silverware were not, or the dishes were not people, because Chip was using them actively as weapons against...
And they shattered one at the end and didn't give a crap, but they cared about Chip.
We're skipping ahead.
But they still magicked the dishes to make them dance, so it's not consistent. But I struggle with that. I did not find it believable the way they treated LeFou. They really acted like he was a bad guy, but didn't give him any bad guy stuff. I mean, just being kind of complicit and worried about getting beat up by Gaston.
And the entire movie is implying that LeFou is in love with Gaston.
Yeah.
Which the problem with that is
if he because he still goes after they reference that he goes after girls. I think he was flamboyant, but they did not make it clear that he was into Gaston. I really think he looked up to Gaston.
Potentially, but that would make more sense for what they did. Because I think they were trying to imply that he was crushing on Gaston, which would not explain his dislike of Gaston's actions not leading him to not keep crushing on Gaston.
Yeah. I don't...
If that sentence made any sense.
I don't think he was the homosexual moment for the story for me. He seemed to be interested in women, just flamboyant, which is a thing that exists.
Since we're in the fight scene, the first potentially homosexual moment was the wardrobe, because they have it in the cartoon, right? Where the wardrobe comes in and...
I love that part in the and then out comes the guy
in full drag. And so it's three of them in this one, and they do clothing blast with swirling everything, and two of the guys freak out, and then the one is just like,
And I love that they freaked out just like the movie too, and just run out of the screen screaming, and the other guy's just like, yeah, and then she's like, yeah,
be free.
I like that the wardrobe and the guy had like a moment like, yeah, you look good, yeah, I look good, and be free.
Then, okay.
Once again, you don't have to be homosexual to like drag. I don't feel that forcing that as to be a homosexual thing is fair.
As a person who watched Eddie Izzard do stand-up...
so once again, like, if you're all worried about homosexuality in this, like, it's not a problem at all. And Disney, like you said,
it doesn't. It does not count,
absolve you.
It is not. It does not count as we're special because we had gay stuff in our movie.
It was media blowing things out of proportion.
It was Disney. It was Disney trying to.
Disney's like, there's this topic over here. We'll touch it. See, we touched it.
No.
We're good. We're progressive.
It was pandering without actually pandering.
Like I said, they just kind of touched that topic and massaged it. That was it, and they walked away.
And then,
Acted like they're the good guys.
what do you think about the fight scene between Beast and Gaston?
I dislike the use of firearms.
Yeah, that kind of took away, especially because it's all about the brute violence going on between them in the cartoon.
Yeah, it was Gaston exerting his dominance over the Beast, really proving that he was winning. He's taking Belle, and it was really that kind of misogynistic message of like he's winning Belle. In this one, he was legitimately trying to kill the Beast. He was hunting the Beast.
It was a hunt as opposed to a show.
Show of
dominance. It was dominance in the cartoon. It was a hunt in the movie.
Which once again makes me I can't really fault Gaston. I still don't see him as in the wrong at this point. Beast never talks with him, never makes it clear that
Gaston comes up and starts lying immediately. Belle sent me to try and hurt the Beast.
He probably thinks that. Once again, he thinks that the Beast has legitimately brainwashed her, and he's doing this for Belle. I still think that his intentions here are actually pure. I can't really think of him as a bad person here. An idiot, once again, still an idiot, but his intentions are pure, I think. He's not over here trying to exert his dominance over the Beast to win Belle. This isn't about like winning Belle. This is about saving the people. I really do think that that was the intention I got from this. Which I can get behind.
And
they did him such a disservice how they killed him.
I
Oops.
Well,
and like he even did like the freaking Looney Tune double take.
Yeah, the float in air for a second. It was I did not care for how they killed him off, and and the scene where the Beast grabs him and holds him over the cliff, him pleading for his life. To me, didn't make sense with his portrayal of the movie, because I figured he's gonna think I'm gonna go further down the stupid hole and start bragging and
you wouldn't kill me. You don't have the manhood,
something like that. But he starts begging for his life.
I can get behind that. That's not too hard for me.
I suppose that could punch through all the stupidity. Yeah. Oh God, I'm going to die.
I am literally hanging by my neck from a hundreds of foot fall. I am way over my head. Please don't kill me. But all of his manly bluster goes out the window.
But in contrast to how they do it in the cartoon, I think this Gaston would have run away as opposed to run for the gun to try and keep shooting.
Because now he actually has I am not a beast. He communicates. He directly talks. And that, even maybe not able to penetrate the stupidity that is Gaston, but that would make an effect to not just be, I gotta still hunt this thing.
Yep, and in the cartoon, it's made clear it's about dominance. He comes up with the knife and is trying to stab repeatedly in the back, and it slips and falls. In this one, he's sitting there shooting the Beast from a distance.
And that's why, so in the original, he's stabbing the Beast in the back, goes to readjust, loses his grip, and he falls to his death. It's his fault. He was responsible for his own death there. Even if it's Beast that kind of knocks him loose, it's his fault. He's literally grabbed onto the back of the Beast, stabbing him. Gaston is at fault, and that's the reason he dies. In this one, he's literally just standing there, and the thing gives out under him. No fault of his own, not anything he did wrong. He just was standing in the wrong place at the wrong time and dead. And it was so less satisfying. But admittedly, that's better because I can't get behind him being that bad of a person to get him killed off.
And what they and it was weird with the castle crumbling, because when the castle crumbled before in the movie, they made a point of showing a petal floating off the rose, and it just starts crumbling out of nowhere. So we can assume it's what's happening, but I think it would have been more poignant
if to show rose the petal fell at the right time, and that's what
to show more of the status of the rose.
I still think this would have been so much better with LeFou. He's up there, he's egging him on. Gaston, you gotta do it! You gotta do it! And he goes to shove Gaston, slips, falls past Gaston and falls to death. And Gaston sees LeFou fall to his death. And he's had his change of heart. Gaston is better.
It would have been great just to have Gaston in the ball at the end. Hitting on all the...
They could have done so much more here.
Because it's not like they're afraid to take liberties, because they twisted on Cinderella with how that resolves.
Yeah, they really twisted on that. It was great. I don't know the movie's great, but I like the plot.
Yep. And That could have been cool. But
They didn't.
on things that could have been. Moving on. What else we got?
It was very emotional. So Gaston dies. I didn't like that. And Beast dies. And then they do this addition. This is a liberty they took. I really liked. They showed all of the
them becoming furniture permanently. Yes,
the loss. Like Lumiere having the last moment with his love, and she turns into an inanimate object in his hands, and the loss. She's gone forever, and he knows these moments away as well. That was very emotional. Yep. Far more so than literally anything in the original film. Like, that was well done.
Yeah, they made a point of getting everyone involved in the final scene as opposed to just Belle and the Beast in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like how they did that.
I still don't understand why the Enchantress had to show up to make it happen, but
cool,
whatever.
It made her present in the movie.
Yeah. I felt like she was kind of forced in all the little random spots for no real reason.
And
whatever, I mean, Liberty, I just didn't see the point. I don't think it's bad or worse or better or anything. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't see why. It seems like a lot of effort for something that was already worked, and I don't feel like he improved on it.
Okay, yeah. And now, for my biggest complaint in the movie comes with the resurrection scene.
Listen.
Comes with the resurrection scene, is they bring the Beast back with the long hair like the cartoon, but it does not work on that actor at all.
We were talking about this in the drive away from the movie theater, and I would have liked it to him come out looking like Gaston. He's buff, he's muscular, he's not the pretty boy anymore. These years as a beast have changed him, and now he's grizzled, and he's got a bit of a facial hair, and he's a little bit more beast-like now.
Yep, and
it's supposed to come out a little bit of a 2 o'clock after.
Well, and then he just kind of comes out with this cloud of hair, and it looks so wrong. It looks fake.
Probably was fake. So another part, I'm going to jump a little ahead. Awkward comment by Belle. He thought about growing a beard. Just like, okay, there's a little bit too much.
The actual bestial growl. Like,
there was a little too much bestiality in this movie to begin with. You really didn't need to just take that and kind of run with it.
A little too far,
that's,
maybe.
Oh, maybe that's why everyone in town doesn't like Belle. She's been a little too fond of the yard animals. I'm sorry. That'll get a dislike, I know it.
God.
Well, if they manage to last for the 2 hours that is this review, I feel free to dislike it. You deserve it.
Wow. I'm sure we've lost 90% of our viewers at this point.
You mean all, 3 of the 4?
90%. Okay. If we've got 4 we've lost 75% of our viewership at this point. Unless this is 10 years in the future.
Which, thanks for coming back. I'm really glad you stayed through this whole time. I mean, you would have missed that nugget of hate speech that I was just...
Yeah, you're going to have to watch through this speech? And cut...
It wasn't actually hate speech. I accused Belle of being a beast. We're off the rails. It's too late.
Well, I'm not done. I like how they tie the castle to the village at this point. Because
they bring him back.
That's passed over in the original cartoon. It's passed over. There's a freaking castle within a day's ride of this village, and no one knows it exists.
They did explain why they didn't know it exists in this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I liked.
And how the entire village is tied to the castle.
And the people actually have stuff there, and they've been worse off not having their significant others who are part of the castle.
Yep, like husbands and wives separated, living in the village and living in the castle, which is also confusing, because is the village frozen in time then, too?
Not sure.
Cause they don't imply...
Well, no, because Maurice is leaving on a regular basis and coming back to go shopping and stuff. They would have noticed if he's never aged in the last 10 years.
Well, we don't know how long Maurice and Belle have actually been there.
True, they may have came late and may not be under the spell. Which is maybe why they're able to break into the castle, the only ones.
And we also don't know with LeFou and Gaston, because they've been away at the war. So
True.
It's...
There may be a couple of oddballs, and they're the ones that are actually, player characters.
Yeah. Well, technically, they would be...
That was a hell of an adventuring crew.
We'll
actually very reasonable ones.
You're now transformed into a beast for the next until your 21st birthday.
Roll a 1 on your diplomacy. You just punched the other player character in the face. What do you do now? Oh, you roll a number 1 on your insight check, and you're now tying him up to leave him for the wolves.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, he rolled a 20. He survived. He's back in town. He's accusing you. Oh, shit. Bluff. 20. Okay, you're putting him in jail.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I like that. That's like cool. We should do that. Like, write up the Beauty and the Beast, the D&D campaign. That'd be good. Well, we are so thoroughly off the rails.
Let's see. Okay.
The last musical bit's great. That was the first time they really took advantage of the musicians that they had available to them.
Emma Thompson singing great.
Oh, beautiful. I wish they used her more.
I like her in everything she's Mrs. Potts.
Yeah, she does have a good bit. She does.
I like how they use her. They show her singing as opposed to the piece of furniture singing with her voice. Because
I can't even give her a piece of furniture. It's like a teapot with eyes on it.
That's fair. Because I don't know if you paid enough. Well, I didn't. If you watch for Lumiere, you don't actually get to see him talking on screen for a bit of time because he has dialogue at the end. But I think because they might have had to do that redub, I think they cut out the visuals of him talking,
so they couldn't have the.
So there wasn't an overlay. I'm not sure if that actually happened. It's all
one thing, like a random comment. I was really surprised that they really only anthropomorphized Lumiere. He's the only one with legs, arms, and like a really distinct humanoid figure. I liked what they did with him. I loved his design, but it was very odd that he was literally the only one like that. Everyone else was a feather duster or very clearly a clock that has to
waddle down. Yep, and the dresser. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not complaining. I just thought it was odd.
Yeah,
that's all I got. I don't know why they changed that. I think it worked great.
what would have been what would have made it less odd is to make the final product look like a person as opposed to just a decorative.
Because then he very clearly turns into what is clearly a candle.
Yep.
When he unanthropomorphizes.
Yeah. Yep.
That was odd.
And then final scene. The second gay moment. LeFou goes up and starts to dance with the guy who was in drag earlier, implying that they're going to start dating.
And they both kind of give each other like a kind of look, and that is the extent of the gay in this movie that you have to be so
gay
afraid
agenda.
of.
Gotta watch out, man.
Disney, come on,
it's coming for yeah.
Don't take credit for this. You didn't do anything. Come on.
Excellent PR team, though.
Yeah, I think it was the media. Honestly, maybe
usually
Disney did great. Well, did a great job at flipping it. I don't know. Whatever.
Pulling for credit that they didn't deserve.
Yeah.
We'll give that.
So I'm giving this. I'm gonna give this probably like a 7 or 8 out of 10. It was above average. It was well done, but it had a lot of flaws, a lot of complaints, a lot of things that were done better in the original that you had access to that you had no reason to unimprove on.
I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10 because I like it more each time I watch it.
I'm going to give it a conservative 8 out of 10 because I think I'm going to like it more and more watching now that talk about it. Because there's so much in there.
Although, talking about what could have been with Gaston at the end kind of makes me sad.
You know what? I'm taking a point off for that because that was such a wasted opportunity. 7 out of 10, and that's my final answer.
Okay, I'm sticking with. I'll go 8 out of 10. I'll take off the half point.
Okay, I was going to say no half points. None of that bullshit.
It's good because it's gonna bug me forever because Because now that I've thought of it, I'm gonna think of it every time I watch it.
That picture, that point right there where LeFou and that other guy had that moment, that would have been infinitely better with Gaston. Sorry. Gaston and that other guy. That would have been so much better. He would have played it so much better. It would have been great. It would have been hilarious. Disney, you missed an opportunity.
We should write movies.
Yeah, well.
At least that
money.
Scene.
That's the thing we don't have. I mean, we just got lighting, and we still need a mic.
Maybe sometime.
Movie! Let's just jump into that.
Maybe someday we'll have a background.
Yeah. Yeah. So, here's our 11 by 17 awards. It says sample currently. So, there we go. We should just hang that for now until I get it finished. Just sample. So we're making progress, I swear.
All right. Okay. So then, two more things. I had something. Oh yes. Is this one of the movies? If you're going to see 5 movies, is this one of your movies?
This is not like the top 2. This is probably it's.
Is it in? Is it in
right
your
now? It's
go-see?
in my top 5. So like, go see this. Do you see this in theater? Honestly, I'm comfortable telling you guys wait for DVD. It's not something you have to run to the theater to see.
That's fair.
Oops.
Yeah, I suppose the theater experience doesn't add anything. Like, God, it would be cool to see the cartoon well, we have seen the cartoon in the theater. I don't think it's significant difference between seeing this on home television.
What I would say is see it on a cheap day. Like, we went and saw it for $5 today. We probably spent way more than that because we bought food because movie theaters. But honestly, unless you're getting it for a really big discount, wait for it to go to DVD, and honestly, wait for it to go on sale. Get it for like $20 on Blu-ray. Actually, skip the Blu-ray, get it on DVD. Cause no, get it on Blu-ray. This one's worth getting on Blu-ray.
And it's probably worth it to buy the soundtrack too.
Yeah, all the songs are good in this. The only one I don't think that is superior, or at least as good as the original, was the first one. The one Belle
in
sings.
The Village. Yeah. Belle is the lead. And
that would be our biggest complaint. Like, for me, Belle is the worst part of this movie.
And she's not that bad.
Exactly. Thank you. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Cause I don't want to bash on her.
Exactly. I love Emma Watson. I love all the roles I've seen her in. She just wasn't right for this role. I really think that's the situation. I just do not think Disney picked the right actress, and I don't blame Emma Watson for that. I think she did a great job. She just wasn't the right fit.
And she tried very hard.
Got so far, but in the end, it really didn't matter.
Hang on, we gotta watch the copyright.
We can sing it. That's always allowed.
I suppose it's not even close to what it sounded like originally. Anyway,
yeah, believe me, I'm nowhere near close to...
Tomatometer. We'll get to that part.
So, Rotten Tomatoes gave this a 70, which actually lines up perfectly with me. The audience scores it higher. They gave it an 86.
Hey, look, that lines up
perfectly with you. That's actually really impressive. So, clearly, I'm the critic, and he's the unknowledgeable audience.
Yeah,
I'm clearly also the brains behind this operation, not him. I just the technical guy. I do all the editing.
Yeah, because I have an offer to do all that.
Yeah, you don't. You don't do it. You're the Gaston in this relationship.
Send it to me. I will edit the crap out of this video.
How am I supposed to send it to you? This is a 2-hour video.
Email.
I cannot email a 2-hour video.
Trying hard enough. Okay, yeah. So Tomatometer.
Let's look at some of these reviews because they were pissing you off when we first opened it up.
Look at them. They're making me mad.
Voiced by the likes of Ian McKellen, Emma Thompson, Ian McGregor.
Well, there's a complicated jumble of gender politics at hand, and any attempt at modernizing the dynamic is more of a random piling on.
Yeah, I completely disagree with that. And, this isn't fair. Disney has ripped a jewel out of its casing and set it in something far more elaborate. The effect is garnish rather than nostalgic, frustrating rather than... there was a lot of addition here. They really did add a lot to this movie. I don't think these negative reviews really do it justice.
Yep, and we've still got that closing question. What I want to close the video with.
Screw you.
Well,
I'm done with you.
Even Luke Evans turns alpha male Gaston into a bigger cartoon than the original. No,
he was great.
No way in hell. God,
Luke Evans was fantastic.
He was much more
believable character, honestly.
A much more believable character, and not only that. He is a straight-up cartoon in the original, because in reality, no one's going to be like, God, this thing, it has no pictures? How do you even understand that? No one in reality.
And who literally, throws 8 eggs whole in their shell down your throat while singing.
Screw this person. That's what I'm
David Sims, top critic.
No, not him. No, that's...
Sorry, not David Simmons. I don't like you either, but Matthew...
I don't like you either.
Lacona? Last name
of the San Diego Reader. Yay. All right, so the closing question. The closing question that I think has to be asked of all movies of this type, remakes, reboots, and all that, was it necessary? And for me, Of all the reboots and remakes I've seen, this one is a necessary one.
Yeah. This is, well, there's some other ones that are really necessary, like RoboCop was fantastic.
Well, yeah, but we're in the minority for that opinion.
Yeah, well, fuck you, majority.
Robot and
But sorry,
people
off
argue,
topic.
and people argue that one wasn't necessary either because the original was good.
But this one, I agree, it was necessary. I wouldn't have said that up until I watched it, but this adds so much more depth to the characters, to the plot, and it adds a lot more that I didn't know was needed, but totally was. I feel that this is absolutely worthy of being added into the franchise and should be seen part and parcel with the original. They should be a pair at this point.
Yep.
I feel that these two should go down in history as a fantastic pairing that complement each other and make each other better. Because both of them by themselves are inferior to the combination.
So, in terms of like rebooting Spider-Man 3 or 4 times, which is not necessary, we've got...
It depends if they do it well, which they have not yet.
Exactly. Fantastic Four, not necessary. I haven't even seen the new one, and not necessary.
Yeah, me neither. Not necessary.
And we're back.
You just keep saying hateful things when you're not watching.
Yeah, that's definitely what happened there. No, we're going to have, well...
And we're going to have to edit this up, too.
Oh my god. 10 years from now is not going to exist if we keep some of these cuts in.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, do we have anything else? Or what do you want to end this on? I think we kind of agree that this was a necessary addition to the franchise, which is a real surprise.
Because you've seen it at this point. If you're still watching the video, you've already seen it.
Can you name anything else that Disney has done that's a sequel, a next movie in a series that has been as well done as this, except maybe the Pirates of the Caribbean?
Well, I like Maleficent. I really like Maleficent.
Okay. Is it as well done as this, though? This is so crucial to the first one, in my opinion. I'd say this is the best remake that Disney's ever done.
They're definitely two different... because Maleficent and Sleeping Beauty are two different pieces.
Very
different
different
puzzles. And...
I'd still
say it's not. What do you
it's
even mean
not
Pirates of the Caribbean?
And World's End, the newest one?
No, at World's End, because we've got the original trilogy and then one random one and now the final one.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just saying that there's good sequels in that really do add to the saga.
Yes. As opposed to...
I just like the original more and more, the more I watch some of the newer ones.
I don't know.
I hate the first... the boy and the girl.
The Curse of the Black Pearl.
No, I just dislike the boy and the girl.
Oh,
the less of them, the better.
Will and Elizabeth?
Especially in the first movie, they're...
Well, I mean, Barbossa's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I like him. Like, when they start replacing them with Barbossa, that was great. And that's why World End was so good. It was all about Barbossa and...
No, that's On Stranger Tides.
On Stranger Tides, which is honestly, probably my favorite in the series.
Okay,
hold on. We're getting way off topic.
Yeah,
How do we want to end this? Just call it. Hit the pause button.
I guess we got good night and good luck.